Dr. Dre versus Ninth Wonder, two legends from two different eras on two separate coasts. But what happened when both flipped the exact same sample? Well, today we're putting their beats side by side to see who came out on top. For the first time ever, you're about to see a side of their genius that's never been shown before. And we're gonna settle this once and for all and find out who sampled it better. In this video, we're going to break down how both producers made beats using the exact same sample, the different sampling techniques they used, and even some ideas you can use for your own beats. So let's start off by looking at the sample itself.
Oh, that's funky, that's funky.
This sample has probably been used in thousands of beats. It's influenced an entire sound as it's at the center of the West Coast G-Funk sound. And Dr. Dre was one, if not the first producer to make that synth whistle from the sample famous. So let's start by looking at one of the beats that he made using this sample in Snoop Dogg's Serial Killer. Now I do have to point out there is a little bit of controversy or confusion behind who actually made this beat. As you can see on the back of the original album, it says that this was produced by Dr. Dre. But years later, Daz Dillinger came out and said he made this along with many of the other beats on this album.
I did Ain't No Fun, I did a slew of songs, Rat-a-tat-tat. It was a clobbering game back then. Mine, take.
Suge Knight has also said this a few times throughout the years as well. But this is where things get a little bit more confusing. Daz then came out afterwards and went back on what he originally said, claiming that Dr. Dre did make these beats.
Dr. Dre did that on his own. Suge Knight is lying. I ain't signed a motherfucking thing.
So I don't really know who made this beat, whether it was Dr. Dre or Daz or both, but either way, this beat does have some really amazing techniques and ideas in it, regardless of who made it. So let's begin by loading the sample into our sampler. And the way this sample is used is a bit different than what we usually see. First off, this is the part of the sample that gets used here. But it gets pitched down 2 semitones and also sped up. You'll notice this idea doesn't simply get looped, mostly because it can't be looped. The idea for this beat is made up of these 2 chops from different sections here, and that's because this section in between has a bunch of talking over it.
Funky, that's funky.
And finally, that important last synth note that's needed to finish this melodic phrase is unusable because of all the talking over top.
Funky.
But thankfully, this note over here is pretty much identical and has no talking over it, which is why it gets used instead. So that's how the sample is used, but there's actually a lot of producing that is done around the sample. So first, to make more space in the beat, EQing is done to remove a lot of the sounds from the sample, so we're mostly just left with the synth whistle. And this gives us a lot more room to add instrumentation in. Namely, an organ, which sits underneath that synth sample and it plays throughout the entire beat. And this pattern gets built to work perfectly with what the sample is doing. Now, in case you're struggling with building your own patterns around samples, I built a plugin Note Grabber that shows you all the notes in your sample in real time and lets you even grab them yourself. And so as you can see, when we look at that synth whistle, we have a G note here and a D note down here. And these are the exact notes that get used to build the perfect pattern for the actual beat. So after drawing these in, I will drag them into my organ pattern like so. And now let's take a listen. And then for the second half of this loop, these exact same notes get used, they're just pitched up 1 semitone. So just by knowing what the notes are in your sample, building around them becomes much easier, which is why I built Note Grabber. You can actually try it out for free for 14 days, by the way. Link is in the description box below. So far we have our sample, we have our organ, now we need the drums. And for this beat, this is the drum sample that gets used. But as you can hear, this drum loop is far more fast-paced compared to the beat. It's at around 120 BPM, while our project is around 99 or 100. And so this drum loop gets stretched out and slowed down and pitched down to match our beat tempo. You can hear. Now it fits perfectly. But the beat is still missing low end, there's absolutely no bass line, and the kick from the drum loop is a bit weak. So we have this kick that gets layered in that follows the drum loop. But we also have this great sounding bass line with this unique sounding bass tone, and it sounds like it might be a sampled bass. Now so far, what we've been building is actually just the hook for the beat. The verse section is actually different than this. And what happens is the sample actually gets muted. But as you can hear, this beat now sounds a little bit too empty, and so this is where even more original ideas get added in. Here, I will take this Fender Rhodes. And again, using the notes that we found in Note Grabber, this really cool stabby pattern gets made. At the end here, we have this more dense chord with more notes. But these are actually the exact same notes being used again. Here we have another D stacked on top and one more up here. Now we do see there is an F in here, which is new, but if we look back in Note Grabber, we can see an F does exist inside of the sample, which is why this note works perfectly with this beat idea. Just a great beat overall, whoever made it, just a lot of cool ideas, and it's impressive to see the sample being integrated into this way where it comes in and out of the beat seamlessly. Next up, we have Ninth Wonder's beat that he made for another West Coast artist, Murs, for his song Cigarettes and Liquor.
Cigarettes and liquor, cigarettes and liquor, run out and get show, cigarettes and liquor.
Now this beat is made in a much more simple way compared to the last beat, but it's very different than how most other beats sample Funky Worm. So we'll load this sample up, and it's this part later on in the sample that gets used here.
Okay, that's enough. Get out of here.
This is what makes Ninth beats so different. We don't have that synth whistle as the main idea like for most beats. Instead, we have this weirder, plucky synth sound that gets used as the main focal point. As well, you can see the sample gets used at its normal pitch and speed, so we don't have much in terms of manipulation, but we do see a bit of chopping here. This phrase here in the sample gets repeated as the core of the beat's loop. But as you can imagine, hearing this over and over again would get very repetitive. And so that's why Ninth Wonder creates two different types of variations at the end of each of the 4 bars. Here is one of them. And here is the other.
Oh, she really funky. Get out of here.
From here, Ninth brings his own kick and snare into the beat just to make the drums sound a bit thicker. And then finally, we have this alternate part of the sample that gets used for the hook, and you'll notice the extra layering of snares and kicks are gone from this pattern, so it's just the sample left.
She really funky. Get out of here.
And that's pretty much it for Ninth's beat. Much more simple, but very different than how most other beats use this sample. 2 beats made for 2 West Coast artists from 2 beat-making legends. But how about I try to force myself into the conversation and make a beat with this sample too? I'm gonna try to make a West Coast beat. I have very little experience doing so this might suck, but let's just go ahead and see what happens. First, what I'm gonna do is something a little bit different than usual. I'm gonna start by looking for a West Coast drum loop. And this will just help me get a better feeling of how I should structure the beat and the sample since I have so little experience. From here, let's try to piece together an idea with the sample. Now, one thing that jumps out to me about this sample and this synthy whistle is that this would probably sound fine if it was stretched out in an extreme way. Usually if you try to do extreme forms of stretching and repitching to samples, they can sound pretty horrible with how many artifacts get created. But this doesn't happen as much if you use a synthy sample. So what I'm gonna do is pitch the sample a bit down, but slow it way down to almost a quarter of its original speed. The reason why I want to do this is because that synthy whistle, while it does sound great, is surrounded by a lot of drums. And so by stretching this out and slowing it down, it will help me be able to find more usable pieces between the drums. Alright, so with my drum loop playing, I'm going to put together an idea using this sample. You may have noticed I have some chops going forward while others are playing backwards. This is a technique that I like to do from time to time. It basically lets you double the amount of usable pieces or phrases available within the sample to use for your own idea. And you do this by just playing the sample in reverse, but again, this depends on the actual sample. One thing I want to point out, you might be wondering why I didn't just use stem splitting in this example. This would have made my life a lot easier. But as you can hear, if I turn this on and take a listen to the sample, we lose a lot of the high end from that synth, as well as starts ducking because it's partly being erased by the stem splitting. So I will not use stem splitting here. And we still have some work to do. We have these open areas here where the sample isn't playing. So let's try and fill those gaps with some other sounds. I'm gonna grab a bunch of guitar licks and layer them in throughout the beat to hopefully fill the space up. Now, as this is a West Coast beat, how about I bring in some talk box? And I'll just find some usable pieces to layer in, mostly again in those open areas of my loop. Next, let me thicken up the drums and add a little bit more percussive elements into the beat. And now the all-important West Coast bass line. I think this will really help bring the beat together. So I'll open up my go-to plugin for retro synths. And let me start by figuring out what notes are actually playing within the sample. So we can see in the bottom corner as the cursor is hovering over the note, this tells us this is a D sharp down here. We have an F above that and an F sharp. Up here we also have a B, and up here is a C sharp. Again, by just seeing what the notes are in real time and not having to stop and print this audio out to run it through an analyzer helps me keep the momentum going in the beat, which is again why I built Note Grabber, which you can download and try for free in the description box below. So now that I know what notes are in this sample thanks to Note Grabber, here's the bass line that I can easily build. Now, a couple things to point out with this bass line. I use a lot of bending notes. You can see all the way up here, I introduced notes in a higher octave to make that bass line sound a little bit more dynamic. Plus, on top, I did do some pitch bending as well. You can hear how this bass line would have sounded if I didn't bring these ideas into the beat. By no means is it completely ruining the beat, but it does lose a lot of character. Speaking of character, I do feel the beat does need a little bit more character. Right now it feels pretty straightforward. There's just no unique textures or ideas. Everything feels like a pretty standard G-funk beat. So let me try and add some weirdness and uniqueness into the beat. I'm going to go through my library of one-shots and use this sound here. I know it sounds like it doesn't fit at all right now, but if I reshape the sound and basically turn it into a one-shot note, and then use some formant shifting, this adds a lot more color to the sound and brings some character to it. So now when I play this in a higher octave, we now have this unique sounding percussive element. And so with all of these sounds and ideas, here is my West Coast beat using Funky Worm. as your favorite. Have I established myself as a Canadian West Coast legend somehow after this? Let me know in the comments. Once again, click the button next to me and try Note Grabber for free. Like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.